All right, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Sanjeev Advani. Thanks for joining. And we're looking here to bring you real estate news, property management news, construction news that is going to add value to your day and be easy to digest. So today we're actually going to be hopping into an article that we read on CoStar recently, which is Real Estate Values Are Bottoming, Blackstone says. So Blackstone, which is is the world's largest commercial property owner, is actually having a really hard time with their commercial real estate sector lately. And it's actually been one of the worst performing sectors for them in their entire business, whereas normally it is an outperformer for what they invest in. Now, the biggest thing is that obviously with the work from home, the COVID, all of that kind of stuff, you've seen a really big shift in the office market. And a lot of people are starting to say that, well, we need people to come back to work. We need people to be working not from home as much. And the corporations are starting to push that now. Whether that is going to offset the office market a little bit, that's going to be very interesting to see. But as of right now, the numbers are showing that it really doesn't look like it's affecting the office market as much as a lot of people think. However, as more people get a little bit more, as more corporations get a little bit more into wanting to bring people back and having those workspaces again, I think that we will see a little bit of the office space market come back. Now, the problem is people are still cautious because you're not really seeing a lot of that movement yet, and the numbers are not showing it yet. And so there is still a lot of caution as far as how that is going. But you saw that the fourth quarter deals for them really started to pick up as far as Blackstone is concerned. Now, what's really interesting to me personally is that they are doing a lot of deals in the data center space. And that space becomes really interesting because now you're starting to look at building these data centers in places that make a lot of sense financially. So that means that land becomes very cheap, construction becomes a little bit cheaper, and we can really pack in a lot of square footage into these data centers. So, for example, they just had a partnership, Blackstone just had a partnership with Digital Realty to develop $7 billion worth of data centers. And so that becomes really interesting to see how that is going to take shape over the next couple quarters, couple years. And then also life sciences. This is something that a lot of people haven't really looked into lately, or doesn't seem to be big on the headline scale. But life sciences is really an interesting portfolio where you're seeing a lot of uptick in kind of people in the office still needing to be in a lab space and places like that. And then also kind of growth of that moving forward. And my thought is that, from COVID, being able to explore these kinds of things and being able to set up real estate really to be able to house those kinds of people, looking at really science spaces and how do those work and building them out in a better fashion, right? Blackstone's still looking at multifamily, which kind of looked at multifamily, so that seems to be a little bit more of their stable aspect at this point. It is really interesting to see that, do you think that we are coming into kind of soft landing that the Fed was trying to engineer? And so if this does happen and the Fed did in fact up with this soft landing, then we should start to see things kind of off moving forward. And that can be really good for A, the economy, B, for Blackstone, and C, for their investment portfolio. As of now, it looks like their total assets under management rose from 1 trillion to 1.04 trillion in the second quarter. And so that really does kind of lead to believe that, okay, there is to be some growth moving forward. And hopefully, in active second and third quarters, we'll start to see that take as well. And so if you do have any questions or comments, please do feel free to comment that below. Please like, subscribe, share. I do look forward to seeing you on the next one, and we will bring you a little bit more news, and hopefully it is, actionable and is easy to digest. And if it's not, please feel free to let me know so we can adjust and we can start to make better content for everybody. Thank you.